All right, back with Dragon Phoenix Games, showing off Storm Dragons.
Okay, so yeah, in this game you've got cards that are dragons and cards that are storms, and you're going to be playing them to your the dragons will be played to your Dragonflight, and storms will be played to your Stormfront. Okay, and when you play a card, let's find us something a little bit more straightforward to start with. Okay, here's one that doesn't even have an ability. So here you have a Juggernaut, and now you have some numbers on here, but if you see there's like a sun symbol and like a moon symbol, so that means the numbers on the top are daytime values, and the numbers on the bottom are nighttime values. And this one, it turns out that they have the same values. Well, maybe this might be a little bit more interesting because they're not. This has a little bit different here. So that means you can play during the day or during the night when you're doing battles. And our challenge token has two purposes. One of them is to show if it's day or night. You got a sun or you got a moon. And whoever starts the battle will decide is it day or night, and they'll put it out on the table with the appropriate side showing. And that means, so if that's a day symbol, so if we were playing during the day and this card were played, its strength would be determined from the numbers on the top. So 6 plus 3. Now the difference is the big number up here, the big circle, represents the head value. So imagine a flight of birds that have their angled and they're flying in a formation like that, right?
Okay.
So one dragon, just like that bird, would be in the head position, and the other ones are attached along, like following along the diagonal on like a wing or a tail position. So the second number is used for if the dragon is in the wing or tail position, because when you play another dragon, you have to decide whether to put this one on top, and you see this little staff, you line them up on the staff. If you put this one on top, then you can see a 9 and a 3, because this one's in the head, this one's in the tail, and it only contributes its tail or wing number. So you'd have a 12. But if you were to play it the other way and put this one on the bottom, then you have a 6 and a 3, and this one is contributing nothing.
Okay.
If you had another card, you can either put it on the top or bottom, and they continue to stack like that. See, now you have a 6, a 3, and a 1 for 10. Or if it was nighttime, you'd have a 6 and 0, 0. Or maybe let's see. Let's find one that's got a tail number 2. Well, this is a small number, but this one can be put on the bottom and still add 1 point in the tail position. So that's kind of how you're adding your numbers. It's either day or night, depending on what's the condition is for the battle. And they're always stacked like this, so you can only see one head value and then all the other tail values.
Okay.
Now, in addition, most of the cards have an action that you can take, and the actions can be, if they're in beige, it's a anytime, day or night. If it's got a colors like this, the yellow, and the sun symbol tells you that ability is usable in the day only. That one's usable in the night only.
Okay.
And so one or the other for this one, depending on how you use it. But something like this in the beige, that one's good
anytime.
Either way. It doesn't matter day or night.
Okay.
And then there also are some abilities like this one. This has an instant ability, but then the little infinity symbol says that this part of it is an ongoing ability. So as long as you can still read that text, so if you place it on top where you can still read it, this ongoing ability is still in effect. But as soon as you place it in a place where it's covered, it's not in effect because you can't read it anymore.
Okay.
So that's the whole point of lining it up, is because some stuff gets covered up and you have to decide what you're covering up and what you're keeping on top so it's still in effect, right? So that's the basics of how you use the cards. So if you're experienced with the game, the best way to play it is there's a drafting mechanic. Okay. And you deal cards in sets of 3, and players will be selecting sets of 3 cards, and then they're going to build up a deck, and then they'll shuffle their deck and start playing with their deck. But when you don't know anything about the cards, we just deal some cards. It may be imbalanced. I mean, one player may have a great hand, but you're just trying to learn the mechanics, so don't worry about whether you win or lose. Just try to learn how things work and get familiar with the dragons. Then the next time when you draft, you'll have a better idea of what do you want to get into your deck, right? And make some decisions.
Oh, yeah.
But so let's just shuffle it up a little bit and deal just that 12 cards. So we're just trying to get an idea of how to play. We're not trying to play a really long game. a full game is usually like maybe 45 minutes.
Okay.
But we're going to play it, so we're going to try to get done in like 20 minutes and just try to get an idea for you how it works.
Cool. And y'all did win that 2018 or 2019 Dallas Games Marathon competition.
Attention exhibit hall vendors. We'll be closing the exhibit hall in 30
We've shown
minutes.
some stuff in the
30 minutes.
thing, but we've never got a best in show.
Okay.
We've got an honorable mention before.
Okay.
BGM.
BGM.
We have had other games that have had finalists and stuff. As a matter of fact, the series game, we entered it just before the pandemic in a competition at the Geekway to the West in St. Louis. And it was picked as a finalist. And we were supposed to go to that 2020 Geekway to the West and present it and see if we were to win. And then they canceled it because of COVID.
Yeah, the freaking pandemic, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you do?
But we also had another game, Viper Ops. Had another game that won honorable mentions and stuff like that. But no, this one hasn't even put in any competitions. We haven't tried to compete with this one.
Okay.
Anyway, so on your playmat, aside from your Dragonflight and your Stormfront, this is your draw pile, this is your discard pile, this is your victory pile, and this is where we keep track of your strength. So go ahead and, after you mix them up a little bit, put them in your draw pile, and then draw 5. Lamarcus, so you go use your full name, or you just say like Mark, or what do you?
Oh, and Marcus for your games, either way.
Marcus, okay.
Yep.
I answer to hey you or anything.
Hey you, I mean, it's whatever's clever. All right.
Okay.
5 in hand.
Okay, so you take your 5 cards, and if you would like to go first, you can, or you want to let me go first so I can kind of show you a little bit that I can show you.
Okay, so when you place the front, does that have to be the head of the?
When you only have one dragon, the first one you place, it is going to be in the head position by default because there's nothing to be in front of it. But after you have one, the next time you play, you can either put it on top and make the new dragon in the head position, or you can place it underneath and put the new dragon in the tail position.
Okay, is a collection of dragons called a murder? That would be nice if it was called a murder.
No, they're not crows.
Okay, no murder. They got no specific name for it,
We
huh?
just call it a dragon flight.
Okay.
This is your dragon flight area, so all your dragons put together make up a dragon flight.
All right, I'm gonna call it a murder.
Okay. And you might, if you need to, you might ask Shelly as an independent opinion if you're having questions about your hand. That way, you don't have to share that with me, or we could just so you can learn.
Cool.
Hey Shelly, you want to be available to him if he has any questions about his cards? Do you want me to go first, or would you like to go first?
Man, I'll go ahead and go first.
Okay. Now, first thing you're going to do, while you're thinking about what you play, if you have an idea what you want, you're going to have to decide. Since you're first, you get to decide, are we playing during the day or during the night? Now, there are a few cards that can change it during the battle, but if no one plays one of those, it will be played in day or night that you choose.
Okay. What happens when we run out of cards?
Well, what we're going to do is you don't draw cards during the battle unless you play a card that tells you to. So you're going to play with these 5, but there are several cards that would let you draw cards. But what's going to happen is after we get a winner to this battle, then you're going to get to draw 2 cards to add to whatever you didn't play. And if that didn't bring in a 5, you're going to draw more until you get to 5. And then we're going to keep doing rounds of battle that way until someone has no more cards left in their draw pile or discard, because your discard can get turned over and shuffled if you run out. But if you have nothing left in either one and you've drawn your last card, that will be the final battle that we're going to do before we check to see who won.
Okay.
And the way you're going to win is whoever has the most dragons, not storms, but dragons, and it's just 1 point per dragon, in their victory pile, or you're also, anything that at the end that's remaining in your hand, draw pile or discard pile, you're going to put them all in your victory pile. So if you didn't play all your cards, you get to count them in your victory pile.
Cool.
So, and you'll just count dragons, and whoever has the most dragons will win.
Alrighty.
So it's not about capturing certain dragons, it's just the most dragons. The storms count for nothing in the victory.
Let's go ahead with Prince. And Martial Forces, draw one any time of the day.
Okay, so you're going to get an added card to your hand, and you're going to need to pick, is it day or night, since this is the start of the battle.
And I get to decide that after I look at the card, or?
Actually, you're supposed to decide it before you look.
Okay. And let's keep it at day.
Okay. All right, so you've added the card, and now we have to assess your score. So during the day, these are the day numbers. You add them together, so your score is 6. So take the little eye token and put it around the 6. That's like a dragon's eye.
Dragon's eye.
So now, let me discuss the concept of being in control.
Okay.
This does 2 things. One, or really 3 things. One is we use it to show day or night, which you've done. The second thing is we put it in front of the player who is in control right now. And in control means if the battle ended right now, that player would be the victor. And so you kind of want to, as much as you can, keep it on your side, so if something causes the battle to go ahead and end, you'll be decided as the victor, right?
Okay.
So right now you have the only score. I don't have anything, so it's going to be in front of you because you're currently in control. Now, when you have multiple players, what's going to happen is whoever's turn it is can either, as a result of their play, wrest control away from you and move it in front of them, or fail to do so and it will stay with you. And the reason I mention that way is sometimes, like if you switch to day or night, or someone does a special effect, it's possible that a number of players' scores change. And someone whose turn it is, their score may go up, or their scores may go down. So, but just because your score is suddenly the highest doesn't mean you take control unless it was your turn. So if on my turn, my score ends up to being higher than yours, I can take control. But suppose Shelly was playing and your score was 6, but after my turn I was at a 9, but her score was 10.
Yeah.
She can't take it from you because it's not her turn.
Not her
I would
turn.
get it from you because on my turn, I am now higher than you.
Gotcha.
So that's why my point is, it's possible to some circumstances, someone else has a higher number, but if it's not their turn, they can't take it from you. I can.
Gotcha.
So if I can get to something higher than whatever you end up with, and I say it that way, I'm not saying I have to get to 7 or higher, because 7 or higher would put me in control, but I might play a card that reduces your score.
Yep.
For example, if I were to switch this tonight, your score would drop to 4. Then I'd only need 5 to be ahead.
Gotcha.
So anyway, let me see if what I can do about this. Now, I happen to have this card. I have a Golemancer, and the Golemancer's main ability is to take a card from my victory pile and put it in my hand.
You have nothing there right now.
Since I have nothing there, there's a secondary ability to just discard it and draw a different card and then take another turn. Because it's not good for me right now, so it'll get shuffled back in later, and maybe I can make use of it later once I have something here.
Okay.
And guess what? I have another one of those, so I'm going to do it again.
Nice.
So now I've kind of pushed them off till later in the game when I have something to work with, but now I have 5 other cards that I can work with right now.
Okay.
And I am going to play a Juggernaut. Now, Juggernaut is the only dragon in the game right now that has no special ability, but it's just got strong numbers. So I have 9 day or night, so I'm going to go to 9, and that's higher than your 6, so I take control and put it in front of me.
Okay. And that's just a +1 on what?
Oh, that's the third thing.
Okay.
There is another function called challenge.
Challenge.
So if after my turn I felt like I can't be beat by anybody if they get only one turn, I can challenge, and then what I would do is I'd move it on top of my dragonflight, and I would get that +1 at that time, and then you would get 1 play to try to beat me.
Okay.
If you cannot beat me, then I beat you, and I will take your cards into my victory pile. If you do beat me, you take mine into your victory pile, and the challenge ends.
My cards that are in my flight.
That are played, not from your hand or your draw pile, just the ones that you've played.
Okay. The flight though, right? The flight and the storm, or just the flight?
Just the flight right now, because the storms need to stay out, because there are some. The Queen, for example, is a card that can be affected by storms anywhere.
Okay.
And there's a storm caller that can steal someone's storm and move it to their area. So they need to stay out because other cards can interact with it. And they're not points anyway.
Okay.
But yeah, I would just take your dragons. Now, if you beat me, you take my dragons. But suppose I did beat you and there were other players, then the challenge would pass to the next player. And if I beat them, I take theirs, and the challenge passes to the next player until either everybody's out but me, or if someone beats me, I'm out, and the remaining players keep battling in normal mode, not in challenge mode. But that's what the +1 is for, and so that's the third thing that the challenge token does.
Cool.
So, but I'm not going to challenge, I'm just going to stick with my 9, and it's back to you.
Okay.
And honestly, this game does play 2, but it plays better with more players. So it plays 2 to 6, but 3 to 3, in my opinion, 3 to 5 is optimum. 6 gets it still plays fine, but it gets a longer game.
Okay. So if you're the only dragon, that would make you a default tail or wing.
Right there, QR code.
Since there's only one, this is in the head. But once you put another one out, either you're going to put the new one in the head position, and that's going to drop back to the tail because it's the last card, or you're going to put the other one underneath, and then this stays head, and the other one becomes the tail.
Okay.
But if it's got an ability, so you start by putting it out here, and if it's got an ability, it doesn't matter where it's going to end up. You can use the ability if you want. And then if you place it underneath, it doesn't matter because you've already used the ability. You just the only thing that matters on that case is it's a tail dragon, so its tail values only can help you.
Okay. But say that the enemy only has one dragon, would that make it a tail or wing dragon, or no?
No, it's a head dragon. Yeah, since I have only one dragon,
then that's a head
it's
dragon.
A head dragon. If there's only one, it's the head.
Gotcha.
If you have 2, you have a head and tail. If you have 3 or more, you have one head, one tail, and everything is considered wing.
Okay. Okay, so what kind of storms make it nighttime?
So what you just told me is you have an assassin. Okay?
Maybe.
Because in the day, you cannot assassinate a head dragon. Which, I understand that's why you're asking the question. And of course, normally you wouldn't have to ask that question because you know. But yes, you will not be able to assassinate that unless it's nighttime.
Okay. I'll play Lucifer Dawnbringer.
Okay. Now, if it was nighttime, you could switch it to day, but it's
From night
already
to day. Okay,
Since
permanent
it's
day.
already day. Now, what that means,
other
it'll
blows.
stay day as long as you leave that on top. Even though there's a card that can switch it to night, it can't switch it to night while you have that card on top. So you can kind of prevent someone from changing it to night, including yourself. Although, if you cover it up with the Sentinel, which is the one that changes it from day to night, then you've blocked it, and it's okay to switch it to night.
Okay.
But you can't leave it on top and switch it to night.
Okay, so just playing a storm, you can always play a storm, right?
Yep.
All right, I'll play the blizzard.
Okay, so during the day, it's worth 1 point, but the ability says enemies put 1 dragon from flight into victory pile. So what that means is I'm going to have to take...
Now, X pile, right? Not victory pile, right?
Discard pile.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to take my card and discard it. So now I have no score, and you have a total of 7.
7.
So you're now in control because I don't even have anything.
Okay. Wait.
And so now, like I said, you could challenge right now, but understand...
You still have a turn.
I would have 1 turn, but here's the thing. Your objective is to capture as many dragons as you can. So if you think you have a chance for me to play some more dragons and you still win, you want me to put them out there so you can win them.
Okay.
You're only going to win. You can only win your own card. Because now here's the other thing. During the course of play, you're allowed to resign from the battle, but only if you've played a dragon during this round. I did play a dragon, even though it's gone. I have played a dragon. So if you were to challenge me, it's within my rights to say, I'm not playing anything else, I resign. And you're not going to get any dragons from me, no points. So it's probably not a great idea to challenge me right now because you're not going to gain any points from me. I would say, stay in it, try to get some cards out here, and then beat me and get my dragons.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Okay, so if you're not going to challenge, I'll go ahead and choose my... And actually, I can even resign right now anyway, because I have played a dragon, even if you have a challenge, and you would win, and you'd get your card.
Okay.
But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stick with it for a little while. I'm going to play an Elder. Now, the Elder has no instant ability. He has only an ongoing ability. His ongoing ability says that I can use either the day or night tail value from each dragon in my flight. So, if I put a card out and it's got a good night tail value and no tail value for the day, I can use the night one instead.
Nice.
So, but right now, it's just 6 and 1 is 7, which is better than yours, so I will take control.
Okay. Man, and vendor hall always closes at 5, right?
Yeah, what time is it?
4:47. But we're good. No time to finish this. Right.
Hey guys, nice to see y'all.
Okay. Skull Cloud Blast.
Okay. Well, in the day, that's going to add a couple more points.
Yep.
It's going to move you up to an 8, right?
8.
Or 9. 6,
7, 8, 9. Take it.
That's higher than my 7. You're back in control.
Cool.
Okay, I'm going to play an Outrider. His ability is only good at night, so I don't get to use his ability. But I'm going to tuck him underneath my Elder, because with my Elder's ability, even though it's daytime and he has no day tail, my Elder lets me look at his night if I want. So I'm going to use that tail and add 7 going up to 11.
Nice. Nice. All right, let's go with that.
Well, first you just stick it out here and we'll look at the ability. Okay, daytime, that's what lets you assassinate a non-head dragon. Okay, so you can assassinate this one.
The
Outrider. Go
Outrider.
to your victory pile.
Take the Outrider.
Face down, and then decide whether to put this on top or on bottom.
Just go ahead and, since you've used your effect already, I'll go ahead and put you at the back.
Right there, yeah.
Yep.
And it has no points in the day, so no change. But I am down to 7, so you are ahead of me just because you knocked my score down.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. I'm going to play a Storm Rider. This is the only dragon in the game that can be played on the storm front instead of over on the Dragonflight.
Nice.
So he can ride on the storms. Even though there's no storm over there, he's allowed to play over here. And what the advantage of that is, I don't have to cover that number up under here or cover this number up. So I can add all 4 of those points to get back to 11.
Nice.
And take control again.
Cool. Right?
Anyway, so if you don't mind, I'd love to come back and play it. I love this game. All right? Out here.
All right, I guess I'll go.
Hey, are you coming? Are you guys coming back? These guys have been following us for a long time, so I don't.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna what?
We're gonna get it this time. I've supported Gathering Gloom twice now.
I know you have. I didn't know if you had made it this 3rd time.
We are.
You didn't know we were up again.
Okay.
I knew you were coming up. They didn't know you were actually up. How long were you up?
Yeah, I didn't know whether you just didn't know we were out there. Score? Did you check it?
All right, so I added the queen, so queen in the head, so 5, 8, And then like 8,
Let's
9,
come back to
10.
this. Let's do this. That's 10.
10.
And 3 more is 13.
13.
And then plus 1 per storm, 14, 15. So you're at 15.
14, 15. And the Storm Rider doesn't count as a storm?
No, he's a dragon.
Okay, 15.
Okay,
It looks
now,
like storm to me, but
do
okay.
you want to challenge or you want to keep playing?
15 versus 11.
Yeah, you-
We've got 1 card in hand each, so.
Yeah, do you think I can take control of you before that? Or?
So if we spend all of our, so like you'll get 1 response and then I don't get to respond again though, right? If I challenged.
No, yeah, that's correct. If you challenge, I get 1 turn, but you don't. You're gonna kind of like you pat, like you're playing blackjack. No, I'm set. I'm gonna stay with these.
Now, if we played out all our remaining cards, then I couldn't challenge. You can only challenge when there's 1 card left.
If we play if I play and don't challenge, and then you play your last card, then you really don't have to challenge it. Well, I guess you could, but the point is, whoever's got this when we're done playing our cards is the winner.
Okay.
But actually, you could, if you take control. The point is, you have to take control to be able to challenge. So
Okay.
there's no point in challenging at that point if we're both out of cards. If you're in control, you're already won.
Yeah, I won't challenge you. But I'll take the control though.
All right, let's see. Okay, I'm going to take a chance here. Well, you know what? I can't even get back ahead of you no matter what I
Exhibitors
do.
and shoppers, you have
So
7 minutes.
I'm gonna yield.
7
So then you
minutes.
get to keep the card in your hand till next round?
Yes.
Okay,
so when
cool.
I yield, you're the only other player in the game, so you just take all of your cards and put them in your victory pile.
Oh, wow.
And what would happen next would be we'd each draw 2. If that doesn't get you to 5, keep drawing until you do have 5. We don't really have time to go any further, but just to show you what would have happened. So we're both going to be back at 5, and then you would start because you won.
Okay.
You get to pick day or night again.
Cool, cool.
And we just keep going until someone had no cards left in either pile here.
Okay.
And then that would be the final round. And then we would just count all the points that we had in the victory pile, which
Okay.
is just 1 per dragon.
Okay, I got a pretty big lead right now, right?
Yeah.
8.
But that's the idea. We didn't, play a very short thing, and we didn't do the drafting because,
Oh, yeah.
we don't have any experience with the cards yet.
Oh, yeah.
But that's the idea.
Man, I liked it. Storm Dragons. Real nice.
Well, it's 2 to 6 players, $35 here in the
6,
convention.
35.
You get 6 player mats.
6 player mates. Wow.
Yeah, all in the box here. And there's 2 decks. There's this deck and this other deck. And you challenge coin. You plenty of these, and the other deck has a few extra dragons that are not in this deck. So there's some other things in there for you to add in. It's like the Necromancer. One of the nastiest cards in the deck, but it's not in this deck. It's only in that deck. Yeah, so he makes, if that's out and on top of someone's flight, other players, when they want to play a dragon, they have to put 1 dragon face down for every dragon they put face up. That's going to make you run out of cards real quick. And then the dragons that are face down are still part of the spoils of whoever wins, even though they don't get to contribute strength to the battle.
Oh, yeah, guys, crazy.
That's nasty.
Yeah. You guys wicked.
Anyway,
All right.
so
Yeah, that's been Storm Dragons.
That's it.
Dragon Phoenix Games.
available right now.
Available right now.
Normally $39, convention price $35, and there's an expansion coming out in the spring, and this is they're still kind of early prototypes. The mechanics are pretty much settled, and some of them were she got the art on a few of the cards pretty much final. Some other ones she's just kind of has some sketches, but there's gonna be 5 new dragon types, a new storm type, and it's gonna add a new dimension items. For example, you can put steel claws on one of your dragons, or you can give it a razor back, or an energizer torque. And they do things like letting you increase the tail values of other dragons, or get +1 for every dragon in your flight. One of the most interesting ones, I think, is the lightning harness. If you put a lightning harness on one of your dragons, then every turn you get to draw a card from your pile, and if it's a storm, you can either add it to your hand or play it, and if it's not, you discard it. So that's kind of free card playing every once in a while if it's a storm.
Oh yeah.
So
Nice.
so that's only going to cost $10 for this deck when it comes out in spring.
Pretty affordable. Super affordable. All right, yeah. Again, that's been Storm Dragons, Dragon Phoenix Games. Check them out.